I'm going to read out something else because I haven't come up with my own speech yet. So this is for our little group of counter-protesters over there, the pathetic group, who have I'm pretty sure that's the LGBT ally flag, although the trans colours aren't there. So I'm going to read out this article if you're an ally, so you can listen to this. Okay. Here's the article. Heading, Pediatric Trans Care is often conversion therapy for gay children.
Yes.
Okay, so this is what it says. There's clear evidence that in many cases, paediatric gender identity services amount to conversion therapy for homosexual children. Young gay children, particularly effeminate boys and masculine girls, are being pressured into falsely identifying as transgender, thereby transing away the gay. Evidence of this phenomena overwhelmingly comes from the United Kingdom, where the country's sole publicly funded paediatric gender clinic is being shuttered and replaced. Investigators found that this clinic, colloquially referred to as Tavistock, provided youth with grossly irresponsible care. Tavistock's homophobic practices were first made public in 2019 when an investigative report published by The Times featured several former clinicians who noted that paediatric gender care sometimes feels like conversion therapy for gay children. The clinicians claimed that homophobia was commonplace at the clinic, and additionally that parents seemed to support medical transition because they would rather have a child who was straight and trans than gay. The British press subsequently published several reports exploring these claims. In response, some trans activists have said that allegations of homophobia and conversion therapy are untrue, but these activists are wrong. In February, BBC investigative journalist Hannah Barnes released a book, Time to Think, which used interviews from almost 60 Tavistock clinicians to investigate the clinic's implosion. The book has been lauded by both conservative and progressive newspapers for its meticulousness and fairness. Barnes's reporting definitively shows that Tavistock was brimming with homophobia. Clinicians spent almost a decade trying to raise alarms about the issue but were ignored. The core problem was the clinic's affirmative approach to treating trans-identifying youth. Under an affirmative model of care, if patients say they are transgender, clinicians are expected to simply support that self-diagnosis. In practice, that usually means ignoring other crucial factors, such as mental health and sexual orientation. Gender nonconformity can indicate transgenderism, but it can just as easily indicate homosexuality. Many lesbian, gay and bisexual LGBT youth don't fit gender stereotypes, but this perfectly natural behaviour has been weaponised against them to strip them of a right to feel comfortable in their own bodies. Dr. Natasha Prescott, a Tavistock ex-clinician, told Barnes there is increasing concern that gender-affirmative therapy, if applied unthinkingly, is reparative therapy against gay individuals, i.e. by making them straight. Barnes described how internet communities pressured patients into thinking that their gender nonconformity meant that they were transgender. This was a particular issue on Tumblr, a hyper-progressive website that was popular in the early to mid-2010s. These patients' testimony is consistent with what has been said by many detransitioners elsewhere, who have pointed out that in some digital echo chambers, being trans is very trendy and sometimes even seen as preferable to being LGBT. In many cases, Tavistock's patients struggled with internalised homophobia, which seemed to be driven by horrific homophobic bullying. Several clinicians reported that between patients and parents, homophobic comments were made at the clinic almost every day. Some boys who are gay would express revulsion towards their same-sex attraction and talk about wanting to have sex the normal way, so straight. One patient who, according to Barnes' reporting, spent years being told by classmates that he was gay filth, was put on hormone blockers that only worsened his mental health. No attention was given to his sexual orientation or bullying. The patient eventually accepted himself as a proud gay man after his mother removed him from affirming care. The mother told Barnes that it doesn't take a genius to see that when a boy is severely bullied and called gay filth, gay dirt, gay pedo at school for years, you may end up with a child who's so traumatised by being gay that it might be influencing his identity. Young female patients would also express revulsion at the thought of being lesbians. According to, I can't pronounce that name, a former Tavistock clinician, homophobia was everywhere. Young women were telling, when I hear the word lesbian, I cringe. I want to die. I'm going to vomit if I hear the word lesbian another time. So, it's a long article, but I'm going to stop there. You see what I mean. So, you're no ally if you support kids being trans like this. So, yeah, that's all.
Thank you, Molly. Thank you.